Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog subject of the night for Tuesday, March 1st, 2016, around 8:02 in the evening in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's dark out now. Going to have some freezing rain and some snow before changing to all rain, and Wednesday morning's going to be wet and wild in eastern Massachusetts. Super Tuesday votes are over for 13 states. Look for big wins by Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump as they soar into the lead of their respective parties. And one little tidbit to report: the Buffalo Bills have released defensive end Mario Williams from contract. And that's about it on news. My third and final video blog subject of the night is the return of the personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is about one of the best big men in professional wrestling history, Blackjack Mulligan. Blackjack Mulligan had an over 25-year career in the world of sports entertainment. He was a character babyface for many years. He also was a pretty good heel. He was famous for being in a tag team with Blackjack Lanza. They were the Blackjacks, and they were tag team champions in the WWF and several other regional territories. Blackjack Mulligan was born and he grew up in Sweetwater, Texas. His real name is Bob Wyndham, and when he went to school at Western Texas University, now West Texas State University. He played football. He was a great football player. He had some tryouts with the New York Jets and a couple of other teams, but he had very bad knees, and he was a big man. He was over like 6'6", and he wanted to become a professional wrestler. He was trained by Vern Gagne, and he made his debut in 1966. He wrestled under his real name, Bob Wyndham, for a few years, and eventually he grew out a mustache, and he had like a little bit of a long hair, and he looked like a cowboy, and he went to the WWF in 1971, and Vince McMahon Sr. gave him the name Blackjack Mulligan, because Mulligan's an Irish name, and the Northeast was the WWF's big territory. And Blackjack Mulligan was managed by the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, and he had a feud with Pedro Morales over the WWF title. They went all around the horn in at the big cities, but there was one fateful night in Boston that a crazy fan stabbed Blackjack Mulligan on the way to the ring, and Blackjack suffered serious wounds, almost coming to his heart and almost killing him. That fan was beaten up and arrested, and Blackjack was out for a while, but he came back, and then he wrestled Bruno Sammartino at Madison Square Garden. This was Bruno's first match at the Garden since he lost the WWF title to Ivan Koloff in January 1971. Blackjack was not in too much condition to wrestle, and Bruno beat him in about a minute and a half. Afterwards, Blackjack left the WWF, and then he went to the WWA territory in Indianapolis, which was Dick the Bruiser's territory, and he was paired up with Blackjack Lanza, who they had similar looks, and it were the tag team, the Blackjacks, and they had Bobby the Brain Heenan as their manager. The Blackjacks won the WWA tag team titles many times, and then the Blackjacks went around for many years in 1970s to many regional territories, winning their tag team championships. And Blackjack Mulligan returned to the WWF in 1975 with Blackjack Lanza, and they were managed by Captain Lou Albano, and they became the WWF Tag Team Champions for about 2 months. And then Blackjack Mulligan left the WWF again, and him and Blackjack Lanza kind of split up, and Blackjack Mulligan went to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling first as a heel. He was tag team partners with Nature Boy Ric Flair, and they won the Mid-Atlantic tag team titles for many times. Eventually, Ric Flair turned on Blackjack Mulligan, and Blackjack Mulligan became a face for the first time. And Mulligan and Flair had a long-running feud at Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling that they swapped the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship and the U.S. title, and Blackjack became a great baby face, like character baby face. He was he broke some of the rules, but he was being cheered. Then he also feuded with Big John Studd and Sergeant Slaughter and Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Actually, in real life, Blackjack Mulligan bought a couple of wrestling territories. He bought Amarillo territories from Terry and Dory Funk Jr. with Dick Murdoch in the late 70s, but that territory, the Amarillo territory, was dying. And also him and Ric Flair bought a territory on the outskirts of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling in Knoxville, but that went under as well. And also in 1982, Blackjack Mulligan broke his son, Barry, into wrestling, and Barry was billed as Blackjack Mulligan Jr. And in the spring of 1982, Blackjack Mulligan went back to the WWF, which was the WWE now, and he was managed by Classy Freddie Blassie, and he was the master of the Iron Claw, and he beat preliminary wrestlers with the claw, and they had to exit out because of the blood and stuff. And then Blackjack Mulligan had lots of interviews. He smashed an apple, and he wanted to wrestle Andre the Giant. Blackjack had a few matches with Bob Backlund over the WWE title around that time, but they never wrestled at Madison Square Garden. Blackjack Mulligan attacked Andre the Giant in a handicap match when Andre was wrestling Mr. Saito and Mr. Fuji. Blackjack hit Andre with a chair and put the claw on him, and that started a long-running feud between Blackjack Mulligan and Andre the Giant all around the loop in the WWE around that time. With that heinous action, Blackjack Mulligan was voted first runner-up for Most Hated Wrestler of the Year in 1982 after the stint with Andre, feuding with Andre in the WWE. Blackjack Mulligan went to Championship Wrestling from Florida, becoming a face, and he spent about 1.5 years down there. He feuded with Kevin Sullivan, who was in his role as a worship devil, and they had a long-running feud. Also, Blackjack feuded with King Kong Mosca and a few others. He normally also teamed with Dusty Rhodes as well, and Blackjack won the Brass Knuckles title down there. And towards the end of Blackjack Mulligan's in-ring wrestling career, he went from territory to territory. He wrestled for the WWE in late 1984, early 1985. He had an interview segment called Blackjack's Barbecue. He did some announcing for the WWE for Canadian television. Then he wrestled for the AWA briefly, reuniting with Blackjack Lanza before Lanza retired. Went to World Class Championship Wrestling as a heel again. Part of Percy Pringle's stable with Rick Rude and Maniac Matt Bourne. They feuded with Bruiser Brody and a couple of other wrestlers, Chris Adams. Then Blackjack Mulligan went back to Championship Wrestling for Florida, feuding with Kevin Sullivan again, and then Blackjack went back to WWE. This time he wrestled under a mask. He was a big machine. But eventually he wrestled as Blackjack Mulligan again in late 1986, early 1987, but he got a minimum push. Eventually, Blackjack went back to championship wrestling for Florida in the dying days and started that feud again with Kevin Sullivan. Blackjack Mulligan's in-ring career ended in 1988 when he was teaming with his son Kendall Windham in World Class Championship Wrestling. But in the dying days, and Blackjack Mulligan got involved in real estate in 1989 in Florida, which he now lives there, and him and his son Kendall were arrested in December of 1989 for counterfeit money with real estate deals, and that ended Blackjack in jail for a while with Kendall Windham. When they got out, Blackjack Mulligan briefly became a road agent for WCW, but eventually he got fired, and then he retired to Florida. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2006. He's been battling some health problems over the past couple of years with a few heart attacks, and he had brain surgery. He's on the mend right now, and there was reports that he actually was on his deathbed, but those were untrue. And Blackjack's family members became wrestlers. His son Barry and Kendall Windham, his son-in-law Mike Rotundo, who was IRS, and his grandsons, the Wyatt family, which is pretty amazing. So that's a 3-generation wrestling family. And that's about it on Blackjack Mulligan, the master of the Iron Claw, Fritz Von Erich. And I'll be back tomorrow, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+, and with 3 more video blogs. One video blog will be about the continuation of top 67 players in NHL history since 1967, numbers 59 through 51. Second video blog will be about the former regional sports channel Prism. And the third and final video blog of the night will be about another big man in professional wrestling, the great Big John Studd. As John Studd used to say, the real giant of professional wrestling. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Benning guy. Molly Roseblood, WCCO, and has nice legs. And Elizabeth Hart's so stunning. She's got nice legs as well. Amy Swansea rocks. And Barbara Gibbs has a sweet southern accent. And in the words of Sean Lucia, get out. Don't forget Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. Send me questions, comments, concerns, shoutouts, plugs, private messages will be addressed in 21 more days into the next Ask Rich Bulletin on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Good night. See you tomorrow.